The day Sokka died. Sokka's death has been teased many times throughout the canonical run of the Avatar universe. I myself have played into this teasing many times in the past, but that all ends today. Today we are going to be taking a look at this comic book that explains in full detail how Sokka dies. It's a little confusing at first, but it makes a lot of sense. This comic book ties together a lot of the loose ends left in the Legend of Korra, like with the Red Lotus and Zahir knowing a lot about the Avatar and all of that. So if you guys want to understand everything, well, you better stay here until the very end of the video. But first, here is some very quick Avatar news. This video is brought to you by Avatar Generations. If you didn't know, Avatar Generations is the official Avatar mobile RPG made by Navigator Games in collaboration with Avatar Studios. And today, they are launching the incredibly fun Prison Break update. This is a campaign expansion to the game based on the iconic Avatar The Last Airbender episode, Imprisoned. Occupied by the Fire Nation, the Earthbenders of a small mining village are arrested and sent to a metal Fire Nation prison, where earthbending is said to be impossible. When Haru, a friend of Team Avatar, is arrested, Katara, Sokka, and Aang must infiltrate the prison and convince Haru and his father Tyro to lead the Earthbenders to revolt against the Warden. Starting July 6th, players will be able to relive the events of this episode by exploring the prison and collecting 5 all-new playable heroes, such as Haru, Prisoner Tyro, who was the leader of the Earthbender prisoners, Prisoner Katara, and the Big Bad Warden. Also, as a special edition, the Spirit General Old Iron from the graphic novel The Rift will also be available to collect this month. You guys are not going to want to miss out on this update. So play Avatar Generations Prison Break update right now. And did I mention it is free? So get it right now on the iOS App Store along with the Google Play Store using my link in the description down below or in the pinned comment. And I cannot wait to see you all in game. This story starts off in Wan Shi Tong's library. Zahir and Unalaq have managed to find the hidden library in pursuit of more knowledge. After a bit of digging around, Unalaq discovers an ancient scroll. He calls over Zahir to have a look with him. When they start reading the scroll, they realize this is one of the first stories ever told. This is the story of the first Avatar. They end up learning how the world used to be, with the spirit world and human world being connected. They end up deciding that the creation of the Avatar should have never happened and actually brought the world into a state of perpetual imbalance. From here, Unalaq and Zahir would call the rest of the Red Lotus to a meeting. They would go on to explain to the Red Lotus everything they had just learned. After hearing this, together they would devise a plan of kidnapping the next Avatar and using them to reopen the spirit portals and return the world to its natural order. They knew it had been a few years since Aang had died, so basically any time now, the next Avatar would be discovered and broadcasted to the world. So in preparation for this, they had begun training non-stop. Eventually, an entire year passes and they hear the radio go off. A new Avatar had been discovered in the Southern Water Tribe. So the Red Lotus begins preparing for their mission. They're loading up their tanks, but right before they leave, Unalaq sneaks off. But they've decided they waited long enough and they're going to go along with the plan anyway. The Red Lotus knew, since this was a time of peace, and this was also a surprise ambush, that the Southern Water Tribe would be pretty low on manpower, so they just rush right in. On the way in, they end up getting spotted by the only 2 Red Lotus members at the Southern Water Tribe. One radios Zuko and the other gets Tonraq. The battle begins and Tonraq instantly neutralizes the Red Lotus's tank. The Red Lotus hops out and all-out war breaks loose. Pli is just out here exploding everything in her path, and Tonraq and the White Lotus are starting to get pushed back. Zahir sneaks behind everybody and tries to catch Tonraq off guard with his head kick, but that gets quickly blocked. While all of this is happening, Zuko finally arrives, but he didn't come alone. He brought the best help possible. You get this awesome shot here of Tenzin on Oogie, Zuko's riding on Druk's nose, you have Sokka on the back there too. Zuko just shows that there are absolutely levels to this and easily takes out Guzan. Sokka, after losing the fight horribly, ends up just one-shotting Zahir with his boomerang. Also, how sick is this design of middle-aged Zuko? The battle is finally over and the Red Lotus is getting shipped off to their prison cells, but Sokka is not satisfied. He still feels like there's something off. There's something off about this, and there's just more pieces to the puzzle that haven't been solved yet. The next few days passed, and Sokka still can't get this off his mind. He's had many sleepless nights over this, so he decides to go downstairs, and there's a letter from Tonraq. Tonraq thanks him for all of his help during this assault. Now, normally, Sokka would be very grateful for something like this, but he's just not satisfied with everything that's happened so far, and this just gets him thinking even more. Eventually, Sokka starts to think, and the only person he could possibly think of that could be potentially behind all of this is Unalaq. Sokka being one of the few people to know about Tonraq and Unalaq's shared past, this is all he could think of. Immediately, Sokka bolts off to the Northern Water Tribe, where he sneaks through the Arctic waters and eventually finds Unalaq's house. Right now, what's going through Sokka's mind, he's thinking if there's gonna be any clues to Unalaq being involved in this, any clues at all, this would probably be the place to look. Sokka starts exploring Unalaq's house. He's touching anything and everything, just looking for clues anywhere. Eventually, he comes across this bookshelf. He's feeling around and eventually he grabs the right book and it opens up a hidden passage. When he takes his first look into the room, he notices a red lotus symbol and a table with a scroll on it. Sokka decides to go in there and check things out further. He starts reading the scroll and he's really confused. Why would Unalaq even have something like this in his house? Why is there just a story of the first Avatar? Now, before Sokka can even put some more pieces together in his head why this could possibly be happening, a shadowy figure appears right behind him. Unalaq, standing right behind Sokka, stops his heart, making it look like he had just died from a heart attack. Unalaq had purposely used this technique to make it look like Sokka had died from natural causes, and he carefully takes Sokka and plants him back in his bed at home. After not hearing from Sokka for a few days, Katara decides to go check on her older brother. She knocks on his door, but no one answers. Knowing things are a little weird because Sokka never goes days without contacting anybody. Sokka's always the life of the party. He always talks to everybody. So she knows something has to be up, and she decides maybe it's best if I just go in and check on him. Katara enters the house and she checks around for him, but she can't find him. Eventually, after checking around the entire house, she comes across his room where he's there, just laying in bed. Instantly, Katara knows something is wrong, so she goes over to him and checks his heartbeat and feels nothing. As a last-ditch effort, she tries to heal him with her waterbending, but nothing is happening. It's too late, and the comic ends with Katara crying, wondering what happened. In this depiction of events, Sokka's death was perfectly covered up, and to everybody in the Avatar world, he was believed to have passed from natural causes, leaving only us, the readers, to know the truth. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this comic. A lot of work was put into it. I'll leave the link to the artist's page in the description down below. Once again, thank you so much to Avatar Generations for sponsoring today's video. If you guys want to go check it out and play the new Prison Break update, the link will be in the description down below along with the pinned comment. And remember, it's free, so there's no point in not checking it out. Alright, it's been real everybody. I'll catch you guys in the next video.